From 1992 to 1999, he hunted children and teenagers across Colombia, Ecuador, and Venezuela. By the time he was caught, he had sexually assaulted and murdered hundreds of children and teenagers. This is the story of Luis Alfredo Garavito, the man the world would come to know as the Beast of Colombia. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Kindly sit tight as we dive into the story of Luis Alfredo Garavito, also known as the Beast of Colombia. Luis Alfredo Garavito was born in Genova, Colombia on the 25th of January 1957. He was the eldest son and second child of a family of 7 children. Before Garavito became an abuser himself, he suffered a violent childhood. Garavito alleged that his father, Manuel Antonio Garavito, was adulterous, drunken, very strict, and often physically and emotionally abusive to him throughout his childhood. He also described his mother, Rosadelia, as a violent woman who gave him little affection and care as a child. As a result of Garavito's father's frequent infidelities and drinking habits, his father and mother frequently fought verbally and physically in the presence of their children, whom they largely neglected. Garavito alleged that at the age of 6, he was strapped to a tree by his father and severely beaten with a machete case because he attempted to defend his mother, whom his father was known to beat even during pregnancy. Because of the spontaneous nature of the physical abuse, the children often hid upon their father's return home from work. Garavito attended Simon Bolivar School in Ceylon, where he alleged to have been frequently ridiculed and bullied by other children, with his teachers making no attempt to intervene. This distressed Garavito, who accumulated resentment toward his violent father and envy towards peers from stable homes. Around 1968, Garavito left school in 5th grade due to poor memory and his father's insistence on making money to sustain the family. In the year 1969, he was allegedly subject to extensive physical and sexual abuse by a close friend of his father, who was a local drugstore owner. When Garavito was taken to the local drugstore for vaccinations, Garavito left home at the age of 16 and worked at several odd jobs around Colombia. In addition to working as a store clerk, he briefly sold religious icons and prayer cards on the streets of Colombia. Garavito reportedly developed an addiction to alcohol, and he was very temperamental. According to police reports, Garavito attempted suicide once and was subsequently placed in psychiatric treatment for a period of 5 years. In Colombia, the civil war that had started in the late 1960s and lasted for decades left thousands of people homeless and on the streets fending for themselves. Many of those left homeless were children who were either displaced or whose parents were killed during the civil war in Colombia. So no one would really notice if such children went missing. Garavito would use this to his advantage in the year 1992 when he committed his first recorded murder. Garavito's crimes covered a vast geographic area, though mostly in Pereira in the western state of Risaralda. Garavito potentially preyed on hundreds of boys in 54 Colombian towns. He also reportedly extended his terror to Ecuador and Venezuela. According to Garavito, he primarily targeted children from poor background who were either doing odd jobs, homeless, peasants, or orphaned. Claiming to feel a force within that compelled him to kill, Garavito would look for children and lure them away by bribing them with money, candy, or odd jobs. He would approach his victims in broad daylight in public places, ranging from the countryside to crowded city streets. Garavito also drank brandy near school zones on evenings to wait for unknowing children. He offered easy work for money and even disguised himself as various characters, ranging from a Catholic priest to a school teacher or to an elderly man, in a way to effectively lure his victims. To prevent suspicions about his activities from developing, Garavito would change his disguise often. As soon as he had the choice of a child, Garavito would take the victim on a long walk to a secluded spot, encouraging them to talk about their personal life until they were tired and vulnerable, which then made them easy to handle. After sipping about half a bottle of brandy, Garavito would bind his victim and intimidate them with a knife. According to Garavito, he made a pact with the devil, and satanic rituals were also incorporated into the murders of the children, who were apparent blood sacrifices. The children were often molested and tortured simultaneously for prolonged periods, with methods ranging from being stabbed with a screwdriver in the buttocks, hands, and feet to other gruesome methods. They were extensively beaten, burned, and often showed deep cuts in their back, belly, and throats. Most of them were sexually abused by Garavito. The bodies of the children were all found completely naked, bearing bite marks and signs of sexual abuse. Also, containers of lubricants were found near the bodies, along with empty bottles of some of the cheapest brandy in Colombia. Garavito's first formally recorded murder took place on the 4th of October 1992, though reports suggested that he must have started much earlier. On that day, he had spotted a 13-year-old boy named Juan Carlos walking near a bazaar where he had been drinking. According to Garavito, the reflection of the moonlight had invoked a strange force within him, reminding him of his childhood, which compelled him to murder upon entering a state of rage. Garavito began following the child. He bought synthetic rope and a butcher's knife on the way. When he eventually got to the unsuspecting Juan Carlos, Garavito offered him a job for 500 or 1,000 pesos, which the innocent child gladly accepted. Garavito and Juan Carlos left the crowded area in Jamundi and went to a remote area near the local railway, where Juan Carlos would later be found with his front teeth knocked out, severe cuts to his rectum and throat, and his genitals severed. On the 10th of October 1992, Garavito embarked on a trip to Trujillo to visit his sister named Esther. Attempting to control his urges by drinking brandy, Garavito began breaking containers in a state of rage after seeing 12-year-old John Alexander Benaranda pass by. Garavito accosted John, lured and killed him in Tulwa before continuing his trip to his sister's house. He continued to compulsively murder young boys in their numbers and in different locations. In the year 1993, Garavito successfully lured 8 young boys aged 9 to 11 from a local school to a nearby wooded lot in the La Victoria district, where he murdered them and amputated their toes. He proceeded to murder Henry Giovanni Garcia, Marco Aurelio Castano, Juan David Cardenas, James Orlando Popayan, and 3 more unidentified children in southeast Bogota. He then murdered 2 additional children in the Mesen neighborhood before departing for Tulwa, to Pereira, to Quimbaya, then to Tulwa again, where he murdered more children. He ended the year 1993 with the murder of 13-year-old Mauricio Monedero Medja. In early 1994, Garavito would lure a 12-year-old boy in Bogota. The child had fallen asleep in a bus, and Garavito took advantage of the child's vulnerability. Garavito took the child, who was in a dazed state, to a secluded spot and proceeded to strip the boy. Somehow, the child was able to seize the knife from Garavito. He severed Garavito's tendons in his left hand with a knife, but was unfortunately overpowered and murdered by Garavito. Also, on the 4th of February 1994, Garavito lured 13-year-old Jaime Andres Gonzalez from the Plaza de Bolivar to a sugarcane field shortly after being expelled from a bar that night for complaining of their food. The killings continued for years, with Garavito covering his tracks and leaving no room for any suspicion. On the 12th of January 1997, Garavito murdered an 8-year-old boy before murdering an additional 2 minors during this period. His victims were almost exclusively boys, though Garavito has also been noted by local media to have molested and murdered female victims. Garavito was also said to have operated in Ecuador during the summer of 1998. On the 20th of July 1998, Garavito murdered 14-year-old Abel Gustavo, who was a local shoe shiner, and also 12-year-old Jimmy Leonardo Palacios in Shone, Ecuador. Garavito was subsequently spotted at an all-girls school in Santo Domingo, Ecuador, before fleeing Ecuadorian authorities who had been setting up an operation to catch him. Ecuadorian authorities found 2 corpses, one of whom was a young girl who had been raped, tortured, murdered, and discarded in similar fashion to that of Garavito's modus operandi. In addition, Garavito also stated that he had allegedly committed murder in Venezuela. On the 7th of November 1998, a group of children discovered a skeleton in Pereira, Colombia, while they were playing football. This discovery was reported to the police, but the police did not do anything serious. Some days later, precisely on the 15th of November 1998, a mass grave of as many as 36 young boys was discovered. All the bodies had signs of binding, sexual assault, and prolonged torture. Almost immediately, the remains of about 41 children was also discovered in Risaralda, with an additional 27 bodies subsequently discovered in neighboring Valle de Causa. These discoveries were so fierce and disturbing to the police that they initially believed that the killings were performed by satanic cults or an international child trafficking ring. On the 6th of February 1999, outside the town of Palmyra, the bodies of two naked children were found lying next to each other on a hill near a sugarcane field. The following day, only meters away, they discovered another child's body. All three bodies had their hands bound and bore signs of sexual abuse. The murder weapon was found in the same area as the bodies. Also, Garavito had left some of his belongings at the murder scene after killing the children. So the police found receipts and a note containing the house address for Garavito's girlfriend, Gracelia Zavaleta. A few days after these discoveries, two boys disappeared in Pereira. The young boy then reported to the police that a man named Pedro Pablo Garcia had earlier attempted to assault him. So the police mistakenly concluded that the accused man was the one responsible for the brutal killings. But after more children continued to disappear while Pedro Pablo Garcia was locked up, it dawned on the police that they had arrested the wrong man. The police subsequently proceeded to the address they found on the note at the earlier murder scene. They met Garavito's girlfriend at home and she identified the items found at the murder scene as belonging to her boyfriend. She, however, told the police that she had not seen Garavito in many months, but proceeded to give the police a black cloth suitcase that Garavito had left in her possession, which contained a number of his belongings. Among the items found in the suitcase were pictures of young boys, detailed journals of his mothers, and other helpful details that led the police to Garavito's house. Unfortunately, the house was vacant at the time the police got there. With the new discoveries, the police subsequently released Pedro Pablo Garcia, whom they had earlier wrongly arrested. They intensified their search for Garavito, but all efforts to find him ended in futility. On the 22nd of April 1999, Garavito was in the city of Villavicencio. He had gone out to drink brandy in the evening when he saw a 12-year-old boy named John Ivan Sabolga selling lottery tickets. Garavito approached the young boy and introduced himself with a fake name as a local politician in the area. He then proceeded to seize the young boy with a knife before threatening him into silence. Pretending to hug the boy, Garavito took the boy to a secluded spot at a hillside. At this location, Garavito proceeded to bind the young boy, but the boy kept struggling with Garavito and raising his voice. As this was going on, a homeless 16-year-old boy had been close enough to hear the struggle between Garavito and John Ivan Sabolga. The 16-year-old boy began to throw stones at Garavito. Garavito became angry, left the 12-year-old boy he had brought there, and started to chase the 16-year-old boy with his dagger. Both the 12-year-old boy and the 16-year-old boy managed to escape. and both boys fled to a nearby farmhouse located on La Carolina Road in Villavicencio, where they met a 12-year-old girl. Garavito, still in pursuit of the two boys, later reached the farmhouse, saw the 12-year-old girl, and requested for the whereabouts of the two boys. The 12-year-old girl sensed danger and smartly directed him to a wrong location in the woods, where Garavito became lost. The police were contacted, resulting in a search of the area. Garavito was found walking out of the woods at approximately 7 p.m. and he was arrested. The police arrested Garavito on suspicion of attempted rape. They had no idea that they had in their custody one of the world's deadliest killers. At the time of his arrest, Garavito gave police a false name and identity, but as investigators checked his personal effects and conducted routine examinations, including matching a rare eyeglass prescription to spectacles found at a crime scene, the police began linking him to the series of child murders. Held in custody under suspicion, Garavito's fingerprints, DNA, and other physical evidence started tying him to multiple child killings across various Colombian regions. While Garavito was out of his cell, detectives took DNA samples from his pillow and living area. The DNA found on the victims was a match to the DNA found in Garavito's cell. As soon as investigators linked Garavito to the brother crimes, the police charged him with a wide range of heinous offenses, including first-degree murder of minors, rape, violent sexual assault, kidnapping, and many others. On the 28th of October 1999, under intense questioning and confronted with overwhelming evidence, including evidence matching DNA and extensive burial maps he had drawn for the police, Garavito confessed to murdering scores of children. He confessed to murdering over 140 children and was charged with killing 172 altogether throughout Colombia. Garavito's confession and the immense physical evidence accelerated legal proceedings. Rather than a long, drawn-out trial with many contested aspects, his case advanced, with prosecutors presenting overwhelming proofs and his own admissions. Garavito was found guilty on several counts related to murder, rape, kidnapping, and other violent crimes. In the year 2000 and 2001, Colombian courts imposed symbolic sentences against Garavito that in total added up to approximately 1,853 years and 9 days imprisonment. These were based on the combined counts of murder and related violent offenses. However, Colombian law does not permit life imprisonment or the death penalty. At the time of Garavito's sentence, the maximum sentence in Colombia was 40 years imprisonment. But because Garavito cooperated with the police by leading them to the burial sites and providing evidence, his effective term was reduced further to 22 years imprisonment under legal provisions that rewards cooperation with investigation. This reduced prison term, despite the unprecedented scale and brutality of his crimes, generated widespread outrage in Colombia, with many citizens arguing that such a criminal should never be eligible for release. Garavito served the sentence in high-security facilities, most notably La Tramacua prison in Valledupar, northern Colombia. But because of the nature of his crimes and the risk such prisoners face from other inmates, he was often kept in isolation from the general prison population. Over the years, Garavito developed a severe health challenge. He was diagnosed with conditions including eye cancer and leukemia, which left him frail and requiring medical care. These conditions significantly impacted his capacity and daily life in prison. Garavito could have been eligible for parole in the year 2023, but his health condition further deteriorated. And on the 12th day of October 2023, at 66 years old, Garavito died in a hospital in Valledupar, northern Colombia. He had been under medical care in the hospital when he died, still legally serving his prison sentence. Thank you for watching to this point, and if stories like this matter to you, kindly consider subscribing to this channel and also sharing this video. Thank you once again, and until next time.